Donnell Bisset. Yak. Far, far away from anywhere, in the mountains of Tibet, there lived a yak. Of course, he wasn't really far from anywhere. He was near the snow and the ice and the sleet and cold wind and wet grass and craggy rocks. All day the blizzard howled and the sun was hidden behind clouds, and the black crows flew about in the storm-tossed air. Yes, he was near all that. But he was far away from the shops and picture books and ice creams and the fireside and the cinema and children going to school. Now, the yak hadn't got a name, so I will just call him Yak. Well, Yak was very fond of sitting in a fairly quiet part behind some rocks and listening to the sound of the sea. He had found a seashell, a lovely spiral seashell, and when he held his ear to it, he could hear the sea. Goodness knows how it had got there, but there it was, and it was what Yak liked best in the world. He usually hid the shell from the other yaks and the crows during the daytime, but at night, when the stars were out, he would sit behind the rocks on the mountain and listen to the sound of the sea in the shell. And he was filled with a great longing to go to the seaside. So one day he picked up his spiral shell, said goodbye to the other yaks, and set off. You might wonder how a yak carries a spiral shell when he's walking. If you look at the picture, you will see he carried it on one of his horns. He didn't know which way to go, but he thought, I'll just keep on walking till I get to the sea. So he walked all day, and in the evening he ate some grass and listened to the sea in his shell and went to sleep. He walked all the next day and the next, but still he didn't come to the sea. All round him were the mountains. Sometimes he saw a herd of llamas, and once he saw an eagle flying high up in the air, but he never seemed to get nearer the sea. One day he was drinking from a little mountain stream and feeling rather sad. He sat down beside it and took down his shell and listened. The stream was running babbling over stones, and it looked at Yak and wondered what he was doing. So it asked him, What are you doing? I'm listening, said Yak. Oh, let me listen too, said the stream. So Yak held the shell near the stream, and the stream listened. Why, that's the sea, it said. That's the sea. Do you know the way there? Asked Yak. Do I know the way? Replied the stream. Why, I'm going there all the time. Just you follow me and you'll get there. Thank you, said Yak, and he followed it. Presently the stream grew bigger until at last it was a broad river with boats sailing on it. It would be nice to sail in a boat instead of having to walk, thought Yak. So he got in a boat and paid his fare, and away they went. The boat had a big red sail and the wind blew it along, while Yak just sat and had a nice rest. At last they got to the seaside. It was wonderful. He sat down on the sand and watched the waves come in. They sounded exactly like they did in his seashell. Yak was very happy. This is nicer than the wet, cold mountains, he thought. He found a cave to sleep in at night. Then, because it was so hot, he went to the barber's and had his long hair cut short, and after that he went down to the beach again and gave the children rides on his back for 2pence a time. He soon had enough money to buy all the hay and ice cream he wanted. It was very nice there. He liked the seaside, but best of all were the late evenings, when it was growing dark and the people had gone home, and Yak sat by himself outside his cave and listened to the sound of the sea, and watched the ships passing in the distance and the sunset on the horizon. And then, in the dark, the stars coming out one by one, and the waves lapping on the shore.